On December 18, 2023, 38 North, the leading open-source intelligence organization specializing in North Korean analysis, based at the Stimson Center in Washington, published satellite imagery showing construction activity at over 40 separate sites across North Korean territory. 40 sites, simultaneously, not sequentially, simultaneously. The imagery showed excavation, reinforced concrete pouring, and overhead cover installation, all occurring at the same time across a country the size of Pennsylvania. Hold that picture, because on the same day, the United States Indo-Pacific Command's Public Affairs Office confirmed that American satellite reconnaissance and intelligence collection over North Korea had been, and I'm reading directly from a statement reported by Defense One, significantly challenged by North Korean denial and deception activities. Challenged significantly. These two things cannot both be true simultaneously. Either America has reliable intelligence on North Korea's nuclear and missile infrastructure, the intelligence that all deterrence calculations are based on, or America is targeting a country it cannot see. Today I'm going to show you which one is the reality, why it matters far beyond the Korean Peninsula, and why the implications for American nuclear deterrence are more severe than anything being discussed in public. Right now, CNN is covering North Korea missile tests as a recurring diplomatic nuisance. Fox News is asking whether Kim Jong-un is rational. The BBC is running features on North Korean sanctions compliance. These are the wrong questions, and they have been the wrong questions for 20 years. The right question is this: has North Korea successfully built a nuclear delivery architecture so hardened, so dispersed, and so deeply hidden that the United States military genuinely does not know where the weapons are? Meaning that any American first strike would be launch blind, and any American deterrence threat is based on targeting data that may be years out of date, not whether North Korea has nuclear weapons, whether America can find them. In the next 20 minutes, I will show you exactly how North Korea built this problem, why it is structurally different from every previous nuclear deterrence challenge America has faced, and why the answer changes the calculus of every conflict in Northeast Asia. I call this the North Korea model of existential hardening. This framework has 4 conditions, and it is portable, meaning that Iran, Russia, and China have all studied it and are adapting elements of it. Let me teach you the 4 conditions, because once you understand them, you will see them everywhere. Condition 1, move everything underground. Condition 2, move everything constantly. Condition 3, make everything dual use so that intelligence collection cannot distinguish civilian from military. Condition 4, make the cost of mapping the infrastructure higher than the cost of building it. North Korea has satisfied all 4 conditions simultaneously, and they have been doing so since the 1990s. This is not improvisation. This is a 30-year engineering project funded at the expense of everything else in the North Korean economy, executed with military discipline and strategic patience. The patient giant operating on Korean soil. The historical anchor here is the Vietnamese tunnel system at Cu Chi. During the Vietnam War, the Viet Cong constructed a network of tunnels running over 250 kilometers beneath the jungle near Saigon. Tunnels with hospitals, kitchens, weapons storage, and command facilities, some reaching depths of 10 meters underground. The American military, with the full weight of its intelligence apparatus, spent years trying to map and destroy this network. They largely failed, not because the tunnels were invincible, but because the network was so extensive, so constantly expanded, and so effectively disguised that targeting it consumed more resources than the network cost to build. North Korea looked at Cu Chi and built a nuclear version. Except instead of 250 kilometers of tunnels, Western military analysts estimate, and this is an estimate because the actual number is classified and disputed, that North Korea has built between 10,000 and 13,000 individual underground facilities of military significance. 10,000, not 1,000. 10,000. Now the evidence. There are 5 specific elements of the North Korean hardening program that make the targeting problem genuinely unprecedented. Number 1, the depth. American bunker-busting munitions, specifically the GBU-57 NATS, B. Massive ordnance penetrator, the largest conventional bomb in the American arsenal at 30,000 pounds, are designed to penetrate to a depth of approximately 60 meters in hard rock before detonation. That is, the deepest conventional penetration capability the United States military possesses. North Korean construction standards for strategic nuclear facilities, based on South Korean and American intelligence assessments reported by the Council on Foreign Relations, routinely place command and control facilities at depths of 100 meters or more. 100 meters, not 60. That 40-meter gap is unbridgeable with any current American non-nuclear munition, which means that striking hardened North Korean nuclear facilities would require nuclear weapons, raising the question of whether any American president would authorize nuclear first use to preemptively strike North Korea's nuclear program. The answer to that question is the answer to the question of whether the North Korean program can be destroyed at all. Number 2, the tunnel construction rate. American and South Korean intelligence, per reporting in Defense News and the Korea Herald, estimates that North Korea constructs new underground facilities at a rate of between 3 and 5 significant tunnel complexes per year, using a labor force of military construction brigades that number in the tens of thousands. 3 to 5 new complexes per year. The American intelligence community's ability to identify and characterize these facilities, to answer the question of what is inside and what military function it serves, lags construction by years, not months. By the time an American targeting package is built around a facility, that facility may have been abandoned, expanded, or converted to a different function. North Korea understands this lag. They exploit it deliberately. Facilities are moved to throw off pattern analysis. Construction is conducted primarily at night or under overhead cover to reduce satellite detection. The exploitation of America's revisit rate limitations, the time between satellite passes over any given location, is systematic and documented. Number 3, the mobility program. This is the element that makes the underground hardening program truly unchallengeable. Even if you could map every underground facility, even if American intelligence had a perfect real-time picture of every tunnel, every bunker, every hardened launcher, it would not solve the targeting problem because North Korea's most capable nuclear delivery systems are road mobile. The Hwasong-17 intercontinental ballistic missile, the system that North Korea demonstrated in November 2022 with a flight that demonstrated sufficient range to reach anywhere in the continental United States, is transported and launched from an 11-axle transporter erector launcher. A truck. A very large, very capable truck that can park under tree cover, under bridges, in tunnels, or inside buildings. Locating a roadmobile ICBM launcher in North Korea's mountainous, heavily forested terrain using satellite imagery with revisit rates measured in hours is approximately as easy as finding a specific car in a city the size of Los Angeles, using only aerial photography taken once every 4 hours. The math does not work. Number 4. The deception infrastructure. North Korea operates a program of deliberate deception that is arguably more sophisticated than any other element of its military posture. Decoy launch facilities built to mimic real ones. Dummy missiles moved around on transporter vehicles. With entrances designed to match civilian industrial buildings. The sheer investment in deception, the labor, the materials, the planning, reflects a military culture that has internalized one lesson above all others. What you cannot be seen doing cannot be targeted. The United States Defense Intelligence Agency published an unclassified summary in 2021, noting that North Korea's, quote, denial and deception activities represent one of the most sustained and sophisticated programs of their kind against American intelligence collection. That's an official document. That's not speculation. That's the intelligence community acknowledging in print that they are losing the collection battle. Number 5, the nuclear warhead miniaturization reality. The ability to hide delivery vehicles and facilities becomes exponentially more strategically significant when the warheads themselves become small enough to hide in ordinary spaces. North Korea's miniaturization program, the reduction of nuclear warhead size and weight to fit on ballistic missiles, is assessed by the DIA to have achieved deliverable warhead designs for its intercontinental ballistic missiles. This assessment, first publicly disclosed in a leaked DIA report in 2017 and subsequently confirmed in congressional testimony by the Director of National Intelligence, means that the targets are not just underground facilities. They include an unknown number of warheads small enough to be stored in trucks, railway cars, or caves. You cannot target what you cannot find. And warheads the size of a large refrigerator, hidden in a country with 25,000 kilometers of mountain tunnels, cannot be reliably found. Now, the strongest case against what I'm arguing, because I owe you that rigor, the counter-argument is this: nuclear deterrence does not require that you can find and destroy an adversary's weapons in a first strike. Deterrence works as long as the adversary cannot destroy your second strike capability, meaning as long as America's own nuclear arsenal survives an initial North Korean strike, the threat of American retaliation is credible, and Kim Jong-un is rational enough to not invite that retaliation. Furthermore, the United States has deployed Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, THAAD, in South Korea, Patriot batteries throughout the region, and operates Aegis ships with SM-3 interceptors that together form a layered missile defense architecture. North Korea's missile program, however advanced, must penetrate that architecture to deliver nuclear weapons to American territory. The deterrence posture does not require perfect targeting intelligence on the North Korean side. That is a substantive argument. Here is what it cannot explain. THAAD and Patriot and SM-3. These systems are designed and tested against the threat of a limited number of incoming ballistic missiles. North Korea's current ICBM inventory is not limited to 1 or 2 systems. Open source analysis from the James Martin Center for Non-Proliferation Studies estimates North Korea may have sufficient fissile material for between 40 and 50 nuclear weapons, with production capacity to add 6 to 7 weapons per year. A salvo of 15 to 20 ICBMs, all launched simultaneously, all with decoys and countermeasures against a missile defense architecture designed for limited raids, is a very different calculus than the standard deterrence model assumes. And the rationality assumption on which deterrence theory depends has never been tested with Kim Jong-un in a genuine crisis. We have no data on how the North Korean leadership responds to existential military pressure because we have never applied existential military pressure to North Korea since it acquired nuclear weapons. Put the threads together. North Korea has built something that has no precedent in the history of nuclear deterrence. A nuclear arsenal that is hardened, dispersed, mobile, and effectively invisible to the intelligence architecture of the most capable surveillance state in history. This is not a weapons program. This is an extinction insurance policy, a system specifically designed to guarantee that no first strike, however massive, can disarm it. And in doing so, North Korea has achieved something that previously only the great powers could achieve. Genuine second strike capability from a country with a GDP smaller than the state of Connecticut. The hidden actor, Russia. Because Russia did not just observe North Korea's hardening program. Actively exploiting it. The weapons transfers flowing from North Korea to Russia for the Ukraine war, ballistic missiles, artillery shells, millions of rounds of ammunition documented by American, South Korean, and Ukrainian intelligence have provided North Korea with hard currency, with petroleum products that allow its military to operate, and with something more valuable than either battlefield data. Every North Korean ballistic missile fired at Ukrainian cities returns telemetry and performance data to Pyongyang. North Korea is getting real-world testing of its ballistic missile guidance systems against air defense networks in exchange for shells that Russia would otherwise have to manufacture itself. China is watching this transaction. China provides the economic oxygen that keeps the North Korean state alive, and China has every strategic incentive to maintain a nuclear-armed North Korea as a permanent distraction for American military planning in Northeast Asia. China does not need North Korea to win. China needs North Korea to exist. 3 things to watch in the next 48 to 72 hours. First, watch 38 North and Planet Labs satellite imagery releases. Any new construction activity at previously undocumented North Korean sites would signal continued expansion of the hardening program. Second, watch for any South Korean government statements about changes to its own nuclear deterrence posture. South Korea's government has been increasingly vocal about the possibility of developing its own nuclear weapons, and any shift in that public position reflects intelligence assessments about North Korean capability. Third, watch for any North Korean ballistic missile test. Particularly if it involves a simultaneous multi-site launch, which would be a demonstration of salvo capability rather than individual missile performance. Your homework. Find the 38 North publication archive at stimson.org and look at their satellite imagery analysis of North Korean construction activity over the past 3 years. Then find the DIA's unclassified North Korea military power report from 2021. Read them together and ask yourself, is the intelligence picture detailed enough to support the targeting requirements of a credible military option? If you think it is, tell me why in the comments. I genuinely want to be challenged on this. Here's the question I cannot escape. If a nuclear-armed state builds an arsenal that cannot be found, cannot be destroyed, and can reach American cities, what does deterrence mean? What is the threat that deters a deterrent you cannot see? I'll see you in the next one.